Well, you need 3 bank accounts at 3 separate banks. Before, I'd have told you can have all of your money at one bank and manage everything from there. That's the most convenient way to do it, right? Well, I changed my mind. My favorite overall bank right now is SoFi. I've used them as my primary bank account since 2019. As I'm beginning to save more, I'm realizing that I think it's better to keep your spending money and your savings completely separate so you don't see your savings account balance and be tempted to spend it every time you open up the app for your checking account. One thing that makes it a bit more difficult with SoFi is that they combine on the home screen all of your banking assets, so your checking account plus your savings account balance. I've paid a credit card bill or something else thinking that entire amount was what I had in my checking account, when in reality, I had to pull money from my savings to make that payment. If you're trying to better manage your money and not overspend, don't have that money show up right there when you log into your main bank account. Now, why do I have 2 different savings accounts? If you saw my recent best high yield savings account video, you'll notice I mentioned sub accounts that each bank gives a little bit different name: vaults, buckets, pods, etc. This to me is a very important feature because I have a lot of goals that I'm saving for, and I'd like to track the progress for each of them separately. You can set up a sub account for anything you want. It could be for the car insurance payment that's due in 6 months, a down payment on a home, an engagement ring, a vacation, or any goal that you can think of, and to be able to set up individual recurring deposits weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly for each one of those goals. Unfortunately, the majority of banks don't offer this feature. If you'd like to save for individual goals, I'd set up a savings account with one of these banks that allows you to set up sub accounts. Now let's talk about my emergency fund. For my account with the individual goals, I could want to check that account maybe once a month or to see if I'm getting close to one of the goals, such as a vacation. But my emergency fund, on the other hand, I hope I never have to touch it. I could go months or years and not need to check the account balance. And it's probably better if I don't know how much money is in the account. I would open up a separate savings account just for your emergency fund. Being that this is just one savings goal, you can create an account with one of the banks paying the highest interest when you sign up for this account. As an example, I chose to use Bask Bank for my emergency fund. A quick side note, I wouldn't spend hours each month comparing savings account interest rates. If you create an account with one of the banks that I'm mentioning in this video or my top high yield savings account video, they should be in the ballpark of other high yield savings accounts. If one bank is paying 0.2% more interest, it's not a guarantee that it will continue to pay that much more than other banks for an extended period of time. I'd maybe review your accounts once per year, see if they continue to offer a competitive rate, and if not, maybe change at that point. The idea with all of your savings account is to set them up and then to forget about them until you need the money. So when you open your emergency fund account, deposit what you can to get it started, set up recurring deposits so it will continue to increase each time you get paid. And then don't look at the account until you have an emergency. You should decide ahead of time what truly is an emergency and what isn't. Joining your friends for a last minute trip to Mexico, I wouldn't exactly consider to be an emergency. If you set things up like I described, the emergency fund will slowly build up a sizable balance. Ideally, over time, you'd be able to set aside 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses in this account. I wouldn't want to be looking at that account balance every time I check the progress of one of my other goals, and I definitely don't want to see it every time I log into my SoFi account. If you want to learn more about the top high yield savings accounts, including the ones that allow you to save for individual goals, check out this video right here. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye bye.